Hi guys, I'm James and welcome back to Bespoke Airsoft. We've got something a little bit special for you today. I've been leaking images that we've got our hands on this over the Ares Amoeba Striker Facebook owners group page on Facebook. That was a mouthful, wasn't it? We've got the new AS02. Many believe it's a myth. Is it? Welcome back. We've got in our hands the new Ares Striker AS02. And this is a real thing. This is not a myth anymore. They've changed a few things throughout. Some are easier to spot than others, but we'll get straight into it. First off, they've put a short barrel on this rifle straight out of the box. A little bit different to the barrels that they have available separately. Striking resemblance to another barrel, though. Luckily for us, it's still threaded to the 20 or so 23mm Ares Striker accessory thread, so all your Ares Striker accessory suppressors will go onto this. However, this will still accept the the bespoke short outer barrel. If you want to use a 14mm thread to put whatever accessories you want there, it will still fit. So moving back, we've got the new handguard, which I presume this is M-lock on the front here, so you can mount torches, lights, lasers, rail segments if you want to run like a scope cam or something like that. Moving back from the handguard, you can see they've got a new design magwell, which is, in my opinion, much better than the old one with the two fins on the front and the back of the magwell. Comes with a short mag as standard, which is great news. Same short mags that are available on the market as of now, and just going to put that back in there. Clicks in lovely. Same trigger guard. Obviously the receiver's built into the magwell, so that's going to be different from the old one. As far as I can tell, this main stock section is the same as before. However, you're now getting the extended butt pad, cheek and pistol grip, sorry, not butt pad, included on the gun as out of the box, and they've got a new stock pad as well, which incorporates this funky little thing that you usually see on like LMGs or something. However, if you're sort of lying down, perhaps in a prone position, it might help you keep the rifle nicely seated in your shoulder. Do not know. It would have been nice to have seen like some kind of rubber on the back rather than the hard plastic, but there's time for that yet. And you can see they've actually mounted some kind of sling loop on the back here, which might help. It would have been nice to have had something around this section just for those that use single point slings, so it's sat nice and positioned on your body. We've got the same styled sling loop as before, which you can switch over either side, and then you'll see, well, you might not see, but we're going to get close up with this rifle in a minute. They've changed the pin design at the back here. For the most part it looks the same, however they've incorporated some kind of Allen screw system to probably keep this from popping out, is what the old one used to do with a little tension spring system. Moving on to the bolt, you can see they've got a new rear section. Now this is sort of just for aesthetics only. This portion up here with the extra Allen key doesn't do anything. It's not no kind of flip safety, nothing like that. Actually doesn't have the safety visible anymore. The safety's gone, and I imagine they've done this to sort of comply with the US regulations with importing these. The US were saying they were having a lot of them bump fire, and they were dropping them on the floor and they were going off. Although the majority of the rest of the world didn't find this issue, Ares obviously found the need to sort of, comply with the US demand and change this safety system. So now the safety system is on the trigger. It's like a two-stage trigger, so you can't actually pull the trigger unless your finger's right on the bottom. So I don't think this is loaded. No, it's not loaded. So yeah, it's like almost like an M&P style trigger. So you can't pull it in the top or the middle, but when your finger's on the bottom, you can. They've put a slightly different charging handle on this as well. Feels a little bit more comfortable compared to the old one. Actually feels a lot smoother than the old Strikers, to be honest. I'm going to guess and hazard a guess to say that they're still using the same sear system. They might be using this new trigger design to get around this new US thing that they're doing, but it's easy enough to pull. Obviously it's got a weaker spring in there, you can tell that just by the audible noise. The cylinder looks like it's made out of a different material. Now the old ones were made out of brass that were coated, and just by looking and feeling the outside of the cylinder I can tell this is different. and when the rifle's cocked back we can tell the cylinder head's different as well. Don't worry about seeing this on this camera just yet. We're going to get over there onto the counter and we're going to break this thing down and see what's going on. But for the external appearance, that's pretty much it. Still got the hop screw design, which is fair enough because we're going to use Action Army Hot Wheels anyway. So that's pretty much a quick external overview. It looks like they've bumped up the quality control a little bit. The receiver's the main difference in my opinion. Handguard looks nice, it's nice and comfortable, sort of resembles more closely to like a Magpul M700 handguard, something like that. So let's get this thing on the counter, let's get the camera turned over there, let's have this thing apart and see what's going on inside. So hopefully you can see a little bit better on the close-up camera here, it's a little bit more lighter, so hopefully it's better for you. Now, you can obviously see they put the screw on the pin, they're still using that indicator which could be troublesome. Why they didn't remove this I don't know. To me, I didn't think this was a big enough of a feature to keep it on there, but with the amount of pins available, I'm sure this will be easy to swap out anyway. So, and you can see the new style charging handle as well. You can see some slight differences in the receiver. There's obviously hole where the pin used to be on the old one, and there looks like to be some kind of hole in the front there as well. However, let's get this thing taken apart, get the magazine taken out. We're going to get a 3mm Allen key, take the bipod screw off, and then we're going to loosen the two main screws on the body, one being by the handguard and the other being by the trigger guard. Hey. Handguard removed, put that out of shot. Remove the trigger guard. We're going to remove the stock. Now, like I said, they've put a hole here for some reason, as well as the other side. Whether that's something they're going to do in future and release a new hop unit, or whether it's easier to produce the receivers that way, I really do not know at this moment in time. However, let's have the outer barrel off. Now, with this short outer barrel, there is no lip there. So if I had an Action Army hop unit, I'd be able to show you that it fits in just fine. So this new Ares Striker short barrel will accept the Action Army hop unit. Spoiler. We're going to remove the mag feed tube. Looks like they're making this out of a newer material. However, stronger material? Probably not, no. It looks a lot more of a powdery metal, if that makes sense. And we're going to remove the hop adjustment screw. Just enough. So, looks to be the exact same hop unit as before. Obviously they're using a much shorter barrel on this one. Looks to be about 300mm. So nothing fancy there. Next we'll use the same 2mm Allen key to remove the screw on the body pin. And we'll then push this out. So all they've done here, it's the same body pin pretty much. They've literally just drilled a channel in the body pin, and that sits into a recess. So this receiver is different, but you could easily enough just remove this lug that they've put on the receiver, and any body pin should fit in just fine. You can see they've also put a cap on where the spring and lever would be that normally stops you firing the rifle when the cylinder's back. Perhaps they had a problem with these falling out. Now, we never experienced that, so perhaps they've just done it to try and keep it all in place, or they've changed the way they've cast this body, so they need that piece. But let's pull the cylinder out if it wants to come out. Do you want to come out? Tube, let's get a little, I think it's catching on that same piece of metal. So, receiver. The safety blanking plate is literally just a piece that they've screwed onto the old cover. It just covers that gap where it would have been before if you removed it. Let's open it up. Now, my assumptions with this new model, I reckon they'll have just changed the trigger itself. I reckon they'll have kept everything else the same, apart from the obvious. So let's remove this cover. And yes, we've got a new trigger system there. This actually feels, I'd say that's polymer. Yeah, that's not metal at all. So that's, the trigger is now a plastic part, two-piece plastic part with a pin. There was no spring behind the trigger. I'm guessing that's just because this is a pre-release sample. Let's put the pins out. So the bottom sear is exactly the same, and the top sear is exactly the same again. So the sear system is exactly the same. Although some of you may look at this as a bit disappointing, this is still great, because all the current sear designs, like the sears that are put out there, I'm not going to name companies, 2-part sears, 1-part sears, and even our ED1 trigger kits, it's all still going to go in here and it's going to fit just fine, which is great news. It looks to me at first glance like they've really polished up on the quality control of this, because it does look a lot better quality than the old ones. That is just an observation of myself, that doesn't mean that's the truth. But that's the body, there's nothing else really. That pin that stops you pulling the trigger when the cylinder's locked back, a lot of people tend to remove anyway, and removing that lever and spring there, it makes it a lot easier for you to put the cylinder back in and out if you're changing it or if you're upgrading it. If that pin or that lever and that spring system isn't there, it means to load your cylinder back in after maintenance or whatever like that. If you want to switch them out, if you want different powers, all you need to do is pull the trigger and you can push the cylinder forward. On the flip side of that, it means you should not be pulling the trigger when the cylinder's locked back, because it will make the cylinder shoot forward and it could damage your hop unit or anything else. The sleeve system looks exactly the same. The maybe differences are just, there's not too big a difference for me to notice by eye. And the cylinder assembly. So, new handle. They've got upgrade handles readily available anyway, so you can switch this out if you wanted to. This new piece at the back, I'm going to go as far to say it depends on your opinion really. It's neither here or there, it still functions the same. This Allen bolt here is just a fake, it's just a channel with a bolt screwed in, so it doesn't have no function, it's just there purely for looks. And then you can see the cylinder head is made out of the same material which they've moved over to with the mag feed tube now. Let's get our tool and open her up. Let's see what's going on. This isn't a very strong spring in here. So the cylinder head's pretty much the same, they've just changed the material. The piston is exactly the same. the spring and the spring guide system, again exactly the same as the AS01. The cylinder assembly itself is the same as the AS01, it's still a pin system. Now this material, it does feel thicker. So here's an old busted one. You can tell the finish is different and the material feels different. I'm still getting a slight brass colour through the paint, it looks like, so perhaps they've just put a different finish on this, but it does feel, maybe it's just the coating that they've put on there that makes it feel so different. Only time will tell. Now you might be asking yourself why Ares have done this. Why are they still using this pin design? Why are they still using the cheap brass cylinders? Why are they still using the same pistons? Purely because Ares do upgrade parts. They sell their own CPSB cylinder kit. Now they're going to want people to buy that kit and put it into these rifles, so it's in their best interest to make these guns nice and affordable out the box, don't get me wrong, and they will work out the box with no issues whatsoever. But they're going to want to sell more products to you after sales as well. They're going to want to sell you the upgrade kits and bits and pieces like that. Excuse me. And the other great thing is the amount of available parts for this system now that are out there. You know, everything's going to fit. They haven't really changed too much. Have I got a... Funny enough, I've got an ED1 cylinder here. Still slides in the cylinder just as nice and easy. I imagine that all the spacing is still the same. Let's have a quick check. I've just pulled that bloody lever. So with the cylinder in, the spacing's still exactly the same. The pin's going to go through the exact same place. So take from this what you will. They have made improvements, they have made changes. I'm not so sure about this plastic trigger, but we do have ED1 kits that will go in here. People are doing sear kits, people are doing cylinders, people are doing pistons. So there's still just as much upgrade capability with this platform. So Ares might be doing their own even more upgrade internal parts for this system, only time will tell. This isn't a confirmed anything yet, but I presume this rifle will be released towards the end of April. Just going off what they've done in the past, that's my own assumption there, my own prediction. So same rifle, same nice cheap affordability, same great platform that we've been using for some time now, and it's nice to see that they're actually, although they haven't gone in depth with some of these parts, it's nice to see that they're using short barrels now, which is what we've been doing for a while. Just to put it into perspective for you, that's our short barrel, that's our short barrel, that's their short barrel. So they are doing these parts so you can fit them out of the box. Now our barrel will fit the Action Army Hop unit straight away anyway, and it will give you that 14mm counterclockwise thread so you can fit any accessory on there. However, they're giving you the, if you don't want to go out and spend an absolute fortune as soon as you buy this gun, they're giving you the adaptability to sort of purchase the AS02, have a few external upgrades, have a short barrel, especially with the internal and the hop unit ready to go. So if you do just want to upgrade the cylinder and the trigger kit, you're pretty much £150 if you were using our kit, and you're ready to go straight out of the box, and you can just do hot rubbers and barrels and other bits and pieces further down the line. But I'm blabbering on now, so it's nice that they've done these bits and pieces. I would love to sit down with Ares and the guys that designed this gun and really go through it and perhaps give our feedback on how they can, because I'd love to give them feedback on how they could improve this system. Even though we do sell upgrade parts and it would be taken away from that, I think this platform has so much potential, and we've proven that time and time again. So thanks for tuning in. This has been the AS02 overview and disassembly. I hope this has provided some much needed information for you. It's not all myth, however, it's not everything that it was hoped to be, but in my opinion, you're getting an upgraded handler guard with M-lock, you're getting a short barrel in a barrel, everything ready to go. You're getting some new bits and pieces, the new magwell design I like. You're getting the cheek pad and grip kit in the box straight away, so you haven't got to go buy that. You got a new stock piece. So I'm actually quite surprised that they've done all those bits there. Obviously going to push the boundaries. And word to the grapevine, they'll be working on other models as well. I'm not going to say any more, just out of the respect for those that have passed the information on to myself. So thanks for tuning in, thanks for looking at this video. I hope it's been informative for you, and if you guys are in the States and you're watching, this is what you can expect from the Strikers coming towards you. Expect to see this on our website very, very soon. We've got a lot of stock on the way, a lot of exciting things. So please subscribe, hit that like button if you've liked what you saw, if I've been informative. If you've got some criticism, put it down in the comments below. But for this and many other standard and bespoke airsoft products, go to our website, bespokeairsoft.co.uk. You can also follow us on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube and Facebook if you want to know more or keep up to date with what's going on here at Bespoke. But we'll see you in the next video, and have a great day.